This is my iPhone 12 mini. I've been using this phone for about 2 weeks, give or take, and I am in love with it. There's a lot of great things about it, but at the same time, I've discovered a few things I don't like about this phone either. So, welcome to a two-part video. This is the first part where I'll talk about the things I love. In the second one, I will discuss why I don't like it. That should be coming out in a day or two, but once it is out, I will link it down in the description and provide a card for you guys as well. So if you want to check that out, be sure to subscribe to the channel or check those cards out if they're live already. So let's get started and talk about this phone. And right off the bat, I think the most important thing that I really love about the phone is the size. Now, a lot of people don't like small phones. They love the big ones, the biggest screen you can get, that stuff. But I've always found that I don't want the biggest screen. I want the most comfortable one. So it doesn't matter what the size is per se. I don't want a tiny phone, but I want something that's comfortable. That's my baseline. I don't care what the size is, as long as it's comfortable to hold and use with one hand, I am good. So this phone really hits it out of the park. And just one of the biggest things I realized was how much easier it is now to take calls and actually have the phone to my head. With all these other phones, the 12 Pro Max, the Maxes, the huge phones, the OnePlus 8 Pro, they are so big. It's so awkward to keep it up to your head for even more than a minute or two. I always had to just switch to headphones at that point whenever I was taking a call because it just wasn't comfortable to keep up to your head. This one, I've been able to take 30, 40-minute calls and not feel annoyed at all. It just is so much more comfortable to hold and use. The size is a huge factor in that for sure. And another thing that definitely plays a big role is the weight. So this is almost 100 grams lighter than the iPhone 12 Pro Max. That's a big deal. This is very close in weight to the iPhone 5S. I think it's about 20 grams more than the 5S used to be. And for all the upgrades you're getting, really, 20 grams doesn't feel like much. And this is one of the lightest iPhones I've used in a long time. It just feels so easy to use, so easy to put in your pocket. And, it doesn't take up the same space. It just feels fun. I don't even know how to put this in words, but it has changed my life with this phone, believe it or not. And on the topic of just the size, one-handed use is something that has really improved. I can't believe how comfortable it is. Just I can finally use an iPhone after a long time with one hand. Everything is easily one-handed accessible. I can swipe through pages, I can grab the control center, I can grab the notification bar, everything without doing complex hand gymnastics with my phone. It's just so convenient, really. One-handed use all through. I can type. Everything can be done one-handed on this phone, and that's so convenient. I really did miss this, and I really enjoy that about using this phone. And on the topic of using the phone and having it in your hand, this build quality, man, everything about it feels great. The one small change I would maybe make is a frosted or a matte finish on the back, just to make it a little bit less susceptible to fingerprints. But really, this design is fantastic. It's got the flat edges. It's got the it's a simple, clean design, and I love it. It's got this industrial feel to it, a brick-like feel to it, and it's just, this is my dream design. Like, I was, when the rumors for the iPhone SE were there, my thought on this was that I would want an iPhone SE that has the same body of the iPhone 5S or the older SE, but it's got an AMOLED screen, kind of just like the one on the iPhone 10 and 10s, and a improved camera system. And this is basically it. This is the 5S body with a screen with, that notch, an OLED screen with that notch, and it's got an improved camera system. Sure, Apple doesn't call this the iPhone SE, they call it the 12 mini, but I don't care. This is exactly what I imagined of, dreamed of with being an iPhone SE, and I am just so glad this phone exists because it really checks off all those boxes. This is like a dream come to life. I don't know how, I know I'm pushing this phone so hard, but really, it's such a great design. And despite being smaller than its brothers, the 12 Pro, and the 12 Pro Max, it doesn't really miss out on any big features. It's got the same feature set as the iPhone 12 Pro. I'm sorry, the iPhone 12, not the 12 Pro. And it's not missing anything. It's got 5G, it's got the same OLED screen, it's got really high quality cameras, the same camera system as the iPhone 12. So even though this is not as expensive or as big as those other phones, it manages to keep everything in there. And, just on the same level, it's got the same performance too. Even though this is a $700 iPhone, it gives you almost the same performance as the $1,100 12 Pro Max. The only difference being a lack of 2 gigs of RAM, additional 2 gigs of RAM. This has 4 gigs versus the 6 of the others, but really, the 4 gig RAM, I can't tell any difference on it right now. Maybe in the future, sure, but performance is just blazing fast. Apple just really nails it out of the park with performance every time, and this phone is no different. And similarly, the cameras, man, the cameras on this are just so well-rounded, really. Photo, video, night mode, everything is just so well-rounded. I don't think I've seen a $700 phone this well-rounded in the camera department. Sure, there's the Pixel that gives you great still quality. There's other phones that give you more gimmicks and zooms and this and that, but this has two lenses on the back, a wide and an ultra-wide. That's it. No gimmicks on them, nothing crazy. You get great consistent photos every time, and it's just awesome. And you've got a pretty decent front camera as well. Sure, it could be bigger, better, but I think for what it is, it's pretty good. All night mode on all three lenses now. It's just a good rounded camera. And video, of course, iPhone video quality is just, there's no words for it. Talking about all that stuff, again, I mentioned this before, but the display, this is a great display. It's got a 1080p resolution, which is a jump up from the iPhone 11, which had an even bigger screen than this. So this is smaller and has more resolution. So this is just a great display right off the bat on numbers wise, but the color, the calibration, contrast, everything has just gone up another level. Watching content on this is great. Even though this is such a small phone, I don't mind it that much. I really do enjoy consuming content on it because of the display. I really do wish the notch was a little bit smaller. I'll talk about that in my next video, but overall, this is a great display all around, and I am very happy with it. And finally, I have to talk about MagSafe. MagSafe is this new ring of magnets Apple has implemented into the back of the entire 12 lineup, and it just opens up a world of possibilities for accessories. And I have been using MagSafe charging. I've used a MagSafe case, and it is just, it feels like something that should have been there all along. And I imagine that a couple years down the road, we'll look back at the older iPhones and say, man, iPhones actually used to exist without MagSafe. It's crazy. I am all in on MagSafe, and I am very excited to see the future of MagSafe accessories and how this turns into more, usability for your iPhone overall. So that's it for the iPhone 12 mini. That's why I really, really like this phone. And if you have anything to add, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. And if you have the 12 mini, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it so far. This phone hasn't been out for that long yet, but from what I've heard from other people who have it so far, they are in love with it. So I just love to know what you guys think. And if you haven't already, be sure to follow me on social media. I'll have all the handles right here on the screen, and of course down in the description below for some behind the scenes stuff and just other content with this stuff. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel for that next video coming out with why I don't like this phone. So of course this phone isn't perfect, so I will be mentioning the things I don't like in that next video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.